today's live stream. All right, so hello, welcome to Effortless Qigong. On Effortless Qigong, we talk about mindfulness, inner exploration, the practice of Qigong, and each week where I am releasing routines, these live sessions, so that you can have less stress and more energy throughout your life. In today's session, we're going to dive into the power of fully feeling. We're going to talk about the benefits, the signs that we're not fully feeling, and some of the challenges that come up with that. We're going to go into some of the practices, and we're going to just kind of do a big, sort of broader overview. So let's like to say that before we dive into today's sessions, I want to mention that if you find the session valuable and would like to support my work, you can do so through the donation link in the chat as well as in the description. And your support helps me to continue to offer these sessions and create more valuable content for you. So thanks so much in advance. All right, let's get started. So if you don't know me by now, my name's Jared and I'm the creator of Effortless Qigong. So again, thanks so much, and I'm so glad that you've been enjoying all of the routines here on the channel. Years ago, I'm 28 now, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I really dealt a lot with chronic anxiety. I dealt with a lot of anxiety, I had a lot of limiting beliefs, I had a lot of maybe even challenges regulating my emotions, definitely through my late teens, early 20s. And so that spawned the interest to begin studying how can I begin to develop greater emotional mastery, how can I regulate my emotions, my feelings, and my energy in a more practical and powerful way. And that began the sort of all the research that I've been doing over the last couple of years. So this idea of fully feeling, which we're going to be talking with today, feeling our emotions, feeling sensations in the body, connecting to the senses in a deeper way, your proprioception, like how you feel yourself in space. All these things are the foundations of a solid Qigong practice. Really, Qigong practice, the root that we want to come from is from a place of mindfulness, self-awareness, consciousness, fully feeling. Because that's what makes Qigong different than other forms of exercise, is that what we're doing is this combination of working on like the external, you could say that like the muscles, the bones, like the more physical, dense part of the body, but we're also working on our mindset, on our feelings, on our mindfulness, and these sorts of things, right? So let's dive into some of the benefits of fully feeling. Because we want to know, if we're going to do something, we're going to take the time to practice it, practice it in our Qigong practice. And later on in this talk, I'll talk about some of the ways that you can carve time out of your calendar to schedule time to actually do this practice all on its own, right? So you can do fully feeling in other practices, and I'll get into that, but also you can do fully feeling as a practice on its own. So we'll get into that. So fully feeling, essentially, it helps us improve our emotional health. When we take time to actually feel what's there, like let's say you're feeling really happy or you're feeling stressed. When we practice fully feeling, we take a moment to just feel it objectively without judging it. And we do that helps us actually improve our emotional intelligence. And also, the more often we can feel negative emotions, that's going to help us to build our resilience. And we really want to be developing our resilience on a regular basis, because life is going to continue to bring challenges to us. Things are going to happen outside of our control. We're going to deal with challenging situations that are going to create really negative and uncomfortable emotions. And so we want to begin to practice now and make that investment on a regular basis of feeling what's there, even if it's just little bits, because then we can start to really develop that emotional resilience that's just going to make life a lot more effortless and joyful. Fully feeling also allows us to develop the capacity for the healthy expressing and processing of emotions. So when we're interacting with our loved ones, when we're at work, we can actually express and deal with situations in a much more skillful way, right? Whether we have really good emotions, we can share those with others. And when we're dealing with more challenging situations, we can be more cognizant of how our emotions are changing the way we're thinking, the way we're acting, the way we're behaving, and we can deal with those situations with more effectiveness, mastery, and grace over time, right? Fully feeling also helps us develop mental clarity. So last week we did a session on centering, and this connects with that really well. When we aren't fully feeling, when we're maybe distracting ourselves with Netflix, right, which is so easy to do with doom scrolling on our phones, eating, socializing, these things, playing video games, whatever it is, we are sacrificing mental clarity, and we're sacrificing focus. And so when we take time to practice fully feeling on a regular basis, instead of distracting ourselves, which is so easy to do, and I'm not saying I'm perfect here either, right? But what I do is we carve time out to do these things and do it intentionally. It helps us to reduce that mental clutter and gain more clarity. Fully feeling can also help promote a calm and centered mind. That doesn't mean that whenever you practice fully feeling, you're going to feel calm and centered necessarily, but over the long term, that's one of the things we can cultivate here. Fully feeling also helps with physical health. So in Qigong, we are doing stretching for our back and our shoulders and our neck. We're also, someone who's practicing Qigong, it's also really wise to start to think about, your nutrition and your sleep, these things as well, and noticing how that makes you feel. This is all going to help with the overall results of Qigong, right? Which is greater health, greater clarity, higher quality of energy, emotional mastery. These are all sort of tangential concepts that help us, that are part of our Qigong practice. And the more we feel, and we are honest with ourselves about why we're feeling what we're feeling, that's going to help us to, if we choose to, intentionally increase our health, improve our health. And lastly, in this discussion, fully feeling helps us to develop our spiritual growth. On a basic level, fully feeling helps us to deepen that connection to the present moment, to actuality, what's actually here. And there's many different definitions of spirituality, but with me, and sort of the schools I'm coming from, is fully feeling helps you to actually connect with what's actually there in the present moment, what's actually true for you, which for me is literally the foundation of a spiritual practice. So this is it, what you're feeling, this incredible experience that you exist at all, this miracle that you are, helps you to deepen that connection. So let's look at a little scenario here. So let's say there's someone, and me, or anyone, maybe someone you know or yourself, you're going through a difficult time. Like me when I'm in my early 20s. So me in my early 20s, I'm young, I'm stressed, I'm confused. Like, I don't know what to do with my life, what's coming up in the future. I have all these sort of traumas and unprocessed things from the past. I'm not fully able to connect and appreciate the present moment. And my visualization to the future isn't good. I'm just like super stressed, anxious. Early on, these ideas like fully feeling seem really boring. They aren't as fun and exciting, and so you have this initial skepticism, like I don't really want to do it. If it seems hard, it seems difficult, it seems boring. It's like watching paint dry or something. But as we mature and we start to realize how maybe living unintentionally, living out of a sense of connection creates challenges and more difficulties in our lives. And maybe we start a basic meditation practice. Like for me, it was the Headspace app. I was actually diagnosed with ADHD as a kid, and so as an adult, I was still dealing with some of the symptoms. And I read a book called Mindfulness-Based Prescription for ADHD, and that's how I got into meditation. So for me, it was like the Headspace app, and the Headspace app actually was the foundation of my meditation practice. And that begins to teach you things like becoming aware of like your weight on the cushion. Just the fact that you're able to see, hearing, the sensation of the temperature in the room, doing the mind scan, so like scanning through the head from the top to the bottom, and these sorts of things. These are sort of the basic foundations of fully feeling and observation. And as I continued to do these practices, this actually took years because I was really not in a good place when I was in my early 20s. But as I've continued to do this practice of feeling and mindfulness and self-reflection as well over a lot of experiences, this practice of fully feeling, to really reap the benefits of it, you might not be able to fully feel 100% right away. Maybe you're just increasing your willingness, your capacity to feel what's there, if it's uncomfortable or whatever. Like maybe you're at like 3% right now, maybe you just go to 5%. You start feeling a little bit more. As I felt more and more over time and been more honest with myself, like I've achieved greater sense of calm and mental clarity. I've developed greater emotional responses and improved mental health over time. Sometimes, actually, though, fully feeling can also make you feel like you've had a setback. It's not always true. This stuff is not linear. It's not like you start to fully feel and all of a sudden you become calmer for like ever. It's actually a much more complicated and non-linear process for sure. And as well, like learning these concepts of fully feeling connected me to the importance of why a Qigong practice actually is really useful and important for our lives. So a lot of us right now, we're dealing with like high levels of stress at work and in our daily lives. Like you can see on social media that a lot of us even struggle with emotional volatility. Right now with information overwhelm and everything, people are dealing with like a lack of mental clarity, a lack of focus, especially as we doom scroll. It actually does affect our ability to focus long term. A lot of us, we work office jobs, we spend a lot of time sitting, so we have a lot of tension being built up in our body. Okay, we have tension built up. We're not maybe eating super healthy, maybe we're not sleeping enough. All this stuff is causing physical health issues. And as well, like we have like a loneliness epidemic taking place as well in the West. So people maybe aren't making as many friends as they used to. Maybe we're having trouble with dating. A lot of this comes from, and we aren't maybe even aware of why we're stressed or depressed or tired. And we're distracting ourselves with Netflix and food and all this stuff, right? So it becomes very difficult to fully feel when we're kind of caught up in this complex series of relating, um, which can cause a lot of various health benefits or health issues. All right, so we're live here, and I'm just gonna like check the chat. Do I see anything? If you're live, just let me know that you're here. And I think I'm gonna do a short guided meditation here. Oh, we are definitely on the internet. I lost connection there. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's do a short meditation to sort of get ourselves into that place of fully feeling, which I think is really important. So we talked about the benefits, the challenges, what's like in the world right now, what could be going on in your life. Now let's do a practice of fully feeling ourselves. So sit comfortably in your chair or lie down on the floor. And let's allow ourselves to come in to the present moment by just bringing our spotlight of awareness into what is actually here. So, your eyes are open, just notice the light or the colors, whatever's in front of you. Allow your focus with your eyes to go kind of broad, including the periphery of your vision. And just notice the sight in front of you. And now notice any sounds in the room without judging them, without getting caught up in them or telling stories about them. Just notice that there's sound. And now feel the weight of your body on the ground. Now inhale. And as you exhale, close your eyes. And just bring your awareness into the body. And just feel the body as it is right now. And just see what sensations you notice. You can start with your awareness, maybe on your top of your head. You can feel the left and right ear, the area on the sides of your head. You can feel your face, around your neck and shoulders. Feeling down the body, the sides of the body, down to the legs and feet. Feeling down your arms, elbows, into your fingers. And then as you're lying or sitting, some of the most basic sensations to feel could be any pain in your back, any discomfort in your body at all, just notice those areas. Tightness, tense areas. And just feel them. It's okay if it's blurry or if you're unclear what it means. We aren't trying to figure out what it means. You're just feeling what is there. And now, feeling into the body, notice any areas in your body that maybe feel good or light. You know, if there's areas of your body that feel tense, heavy, dark, or if there's other areas in your body, notice them that are maybe brighter, you know, that feel better, more energized, more harmonious. Just notice those areas too. For example, the left side of my back feels tighter than the right side. All right, now let's bring our awareness to the breath. So just begin by breathing. You don't need to breathe in a certain way, just notice how the breath is flowing. Notice how the inhale, notice the exhale. Is it easy to inhale, harder to exhale? Is there a difference between the smoothness of the inhale, the exhale? As you breathe, is there a restriction or a tightness? Remember not to change anything during these feeling sessions. We're not trying to change anything or correct anything or fix anything or do anything. If things change as we feel, that's okay. So let's just come back to keeping your eyes closed, just the sound in the room, the feeling of the weight of your body. Notice those discomfortable spots of the body. Notice the comfortable parts of your body. And observe your breath. Now, let's allow ourselves to observe that chatter in the mind. Notice the thoughts that are coming and going while you're trying to feel and focus. And simply observe them. Don't try to change them. Don't try to quiet them. Notice how you're able to be aware of them without being them. And then simply note the thoughts. So, if your thoughts are in the past, if it's something stressful, just note it. Like thinking, thinking. Just simply noting, thinking can be useful. And now let's bring our awareness to the emotions. Whatever emotions you're feeling, happiness, sadness, impatience, whatever it is, see if you can just feel that for a moment here. And let's just come back to the breathing. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. And that's a pretty good basic introduction to fully feeling right there. And if you can practice that short 10 or 15 minutes on a regular basis, I think that's a really good place to come from as the foundation of your Qigong practice. Like I said earlier on in this video, really the foundation of Qigong should be the practice of fully feeling. Whatever it is in the moment, right? Whatever it is for you. And that by no means is always going to feel pleasant, but that's okay as well. So we're going to go into some of the considerations and traps in practicing this. So what are the things that you want to make sure you can think about is, all right, here's some, actually, before we do that, here's some tips for fully feeling. Okay. You always want to, when you're going to do a session like this, you're going to go into the fully feeling. You want to create a safe, quiet environment where you can sit down and you can go through this process of feeling. You want to practice feeling regularly. And you want to remember that consistency is key. And you, like I said before, you don't necessarily have to feel everything all at once. Maybe it's too much, but if we just begin that practice of being honest and feeling what's there, it's going to have a lot of incredible results in our lives. You want to make sure that we're being patient, you want to make sure that you're being patient and kind to yourself. Emphasize self-compassion in this practice. And remember that fully feeling isn't the same thing as cultivating joy or changing something or feeling calm or feeling good about yourself. Fully feeling is feeling what's there, warts and all. So if it's a really good feeling, you're feeling it. If it's a bad feeling, you're feeling it. If it's gross or weird or icky, we're feeling that. And remembering that there are other practices for cultivating or changing that we can do. And journaling can be a great tool for deepening this practice as well. Maybe after you do a fully feeling session, You could do a mindfulness journaling session where you are writing down what you felt and what you observed. That can be useful. And then you can ask questions too about emotions and yeah. So considerations and traps in the practice of fully feeling. When it comes to dealing with challenging emotions or negative emotions, be aware that by feeling it, there are dangers and risks that are associated with that. So just like if you're gonna do a fully feeling session and you know that maybe you're gonna have some challenging emotions, you might want to have planned after it, like maybe you want to talk to someone, maybe you want to do some qigong, maybe you want to go for a walk, or have some sort of distraction in place later on. Like distraction can be a useful tool in life. Just only feel to the degree that you can handle it. And there are times when you want to push yourself outside your comfort zone, but just be moderate in the feeling of negative emotions and positive ones too, and just proceed with caution as you do this, for sure. Which really leads us to the next point, where we want to balance our awareness, like the awareness of our emotions, and being detached from them in a healthy way, which is sort of a paradox, because we're trying to do here is connect deeper to the emotions and our feelings, but we're also being mindful to ensure that we aren't being consumed or driven by these emotions, which is a really sort of paradoxical balancing act that we're trying to do here. And also, as we're developing this fully feeling muscle, we are identifying and addressing tendencies to avoid difficult emotions. So we have difficult emotions that we are dealing with sometimes. We tend to avoid them, which is a problem, right? So we don't want to necessarily feel it all at once, but maybe we want to feel it in increments, do it on a more regular basis, and we want to make sure that we're not just avoiding them. Okay, so now this is the recap. So in this video we talked about the benefits of fully feeling. We talked about greater clarity, emotional intelligence, deepening your qigong practice, the capacity to feel more of these better emotions that we want to feel, and the ability to process these negative emotions as well. We talked about in this video the importance of a meditation mindfulness practice, and how meditation and mindfulness is the foundation of a qigong practice. Really, first and foremost, qigong is a moving meditation in one way of looking at it. And we want to make sure that we have a mindfulness and meditation foundation that's based on the principles of actuality and self-awareness and fully feeling, to really get the most out of our qigong practice. I invite you to, I'm going to make a post in the community chat also explaining the benefits of fully feeling on the channel. So I invite you to, if you're watching this after it's been uploaded, leave a comment, ask questions, and let me know what you think about the live sessions. How can I improve them? I feel like I can definitely continue to improve these live sessions and my presentation style, and we'll continue to do that over time. So thank you so much for watching this live stream. If you enjoy this live stream, please consider donating to my Buy Me a Coffee page. Effortless Qigong is in its foundational developmental phase. By donating to the channel, you help me to develop the website, to buy the equipment I need, to invest into my Qigong education. My goal here with Effortless Qigong is to create one of the best online schools for Qigong and mindfulness in the world. And in order to do that, I have to be able to fund it, right? So all the stuff that we're doing has to grow over time, right? And in order for it to grow, we need this channel is it's becoming increasingly stable and financially stable. And so thank you so much for all those who do donate. And it's also a way of saying thanks. It's also a way of having a reciprocal relationship where we have an exchange of value and currency between us, which I think is really important that we have. So, here's regular practice. I encourage you to continue practicing Qigong, continue deepening your fully feeling muscle. I also have a really good book recommendation for those of you who made it to the end. This book it's called That Is That, Essays About True Nature by Nirmala. So there it is, That Is That. Lots of really good little essays in here that I like, that he talks about fully feeling in a way that's quite different than how it's done here, but also complementary. So continue to practice Qigong on a regular basis. Continue to work on your mindfulness and your fully feeling muscle. And stay tuned for future live sessions just like this one. My goal is to go live actually more often. I want to continue to engage with you guys on a more regular basis. And I think by doing that, we can cultivate more and more engagement here on the channel. If you've been enjoying the routines, thank you so much. Those of you who comment, those of you who like the page, thank you as well. And stay tuned for more routines coming out, more offers in the future. Soon the website will be coming online in the next couple of months. There's been some delays, obviously, in me getting my website launched, but I'm currently doing the things I need to do to get that set up. And, I think, if you really want to go deeper in on this stuff, if you really find it valuable, then you should be reaching out to look into the beta program, one-on-one sessions with me. You can get a lot of benefit from that you just can't get from being passive and just watching this stuff. So definitely consider that, and I'll be posting more about that in the future. So thanks so much for those of you who tuned in. I hope you enjoyed this live session, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.